Hey, I'm Jeremy Drobeck with Treadstone Funding. I'm here today to talk to you about disputing your property taxes. Now, everything I'm about to tell you is for Michigan, okay? So I'm based out of Michigan, and different states have different rules on property taxes. So what we're gonna go over is Michigan specific. So when you purchase a home and you get moved in and everything, when you get to February of that first year, and even if you've already owned the home for a while, at about the end of February each year, you're gonna get a letter from the taxing authority. So if you're in one of the townships or one of the cities, you'll get the letter from the local assessor, and what that letter will show you is where they have your house valued at. Now this gets kind of complicated because they have taxable value and SEV and all these different numbers, but what you wanna do is you wanna look at that letter and see where they have your taxable value at. You take that number and you double it. So let's use a simple example. Let's say you got a taxable value of $50,000. What the assessor is saying is that your house, you double that number, it's being taxed as if it were a $100,000 house. So let's say your house is, and I'm gonna stick with this simple example. Let's say your house is worth $150,000. So your house is worth $150,000. The assessor's given it a value of $100,000, you're good to go. That means you're paying a very, very fair tax because your taxes are based on that $100,000. If they were based on $150,000, your tax bill would be a lot higher. So I would not dispute the property taxes in that example. If, let's say, and we're gonna stick with this, the assessor's got it at $100,000, but maybe you just bought the house and it was a foreclosure and you paid $70,000 for it because it needed some work. So now they've got it valued higher than what it's actually worth. And in that case, you're gonna wanna go in there and dispute those property taxes. So when you get that letter in, you got about a 2-week window to dispute the taxes. And if you look at the bottom of the letter, it'll have a thing on there about scheduling a board of review appointment. What you wanna do is schedule that appointment and go in and dispute those taxes. When you go in to dispute the taxes, it's kind of like going to court. You got to take evidence in if you're going to have a chance of winning this. So I've got a bunch of stuff on my website about how to dispute those taxes and the different ins and outs of it. But you can call your realtor, you can take your appraisal in if you had an appraisal done from a recent purchase, and dispute the taxes. If you don't take the evidence, you will not win. So you find some evidence, you go in to dispute them. I've done many disputes myself. I had a bunch of rental property at one point, and I disputed the taxes on almost every single one of those properties. Most of the time at that initial meeting, I did not win. I didn't win. And so that's where you go to step 2. Cities and townships and stuff, when they reduce those taxable value down, it's cutting into the revenue, and they really don't want to reduce it if they don't have to. So the second step is to go to board of review. If you do not win at the initial board of review, then you're gonna file an additional dispute for a tax tribunal. I've had a ton of success at tax tribunal. It's the same basic process. You take the evidence in and you go through these different steps. If you'd like to talk more about this, give me a call and I'm more than happy to help you out. It is very, very feasible to go in and dispute your taxes. And the beauty of it is if you reduce if your monthly property taxes are $300 a month and you reduce that down to $250 a month, you're saving $50 a month for a very, very long period of time. So it's worth taking a look at this. So just remember, step number 1, when you get the letter in February, look at the taxable value, double it, and if that doubled number is more than what your house is worth, give me a call and I'll help you from there. I'm Jeremy Drobeck, Treadstone Funding.